Well, the Libyan capital, Tripoli, has been embroiled in clashes in recent days. At the weekend, the head of the UN-backed government, Fayez Seraj, attended the funeral of 4 people killed in those clashes. The violence erupted on Friday morning as rival militias battled for power. That includes fighters backing the UN government. Health officials say nearly 30 people were killed and more than 120 wounded in the fighting. Libya's UN-backed government has been struggling to stamp its authority on Libya. It's been vying with the rival Libyan parliament, which is based in the eastern town of Tobruk. We can now cross over to CGTN's Iyasa Hakim. He's been tracking those developments for us. He's joining me live from Cairo for more. Iyasa, good to see you there now. We are expecting more airstrikes from Egypt against ISIL targets in Libya. Any idea yet when they might take place and whether the international community will heed the call of President El-Sisi for assistance?
Well, concerning the airstrikes, yes, we expect more airstrikes, and that's according to what the Egyptian president has said. He made it clear that it will not be a one-off, it will be a continuous war or raids on camps, militant camps that train assailants who attack Egyptians. Now, what we have, the latest news, is that comes from Libya, and that is 14 raids have taken place in the last few hours on militant camps in southern Libya. It's called in a city, on a group called Hon, a city called Hon, in the south of Libya, and it targeted terrorist groups there called Al-Mujahid, one of those groups, and it has hit all the weaponry and arsenals there, causing a lot of damage. But the sources say it's still unknown who raided these terrorist camps. Egypt is still, we're waiting for any information or any announcement from Egypt if it is the one that has raided these camps, or it could be the LNA, the Libyan National Army, which has also been coordinating with the Egyptian forces in the latest raids in the last 48 hours. The LNA is led by Khalifa Haftar. Now, at the same time, the Derna has announced that the Abu Talha, who is the leader of Al-Qaeda in Libya, has been killed by the air raids by the Egyptian forces on Saturday. This has just been announced by the Libyan side. So we do expect more raids to continue in the next few days.
Well, yes, Egypt is still in shock, though, and it's been days now since the attack on Coptic Christians. What services are being held for the victims, and can you tell us more about what's being done to protect the Christians?
Concerning the services, there have been services in Minya, the city which is closest to where the attack has taken place. But the victims were not all from the city of Minya, they were from several cities. And they were going to this monastery for the weekly prayers and celebrations. And there were today, for example, we expect a number around 4 or 5 will be from the city of Beni Suef, which is close to Al-Minya, and they are all in Upper Egypt, the area of Upper Egypt in south of the country, which is about 300 kilometers from Cairo. As for how to protect Christians, you have to understand that it's all Egyptians, and you cannot really, it's not a different segment of the society where you can protect alone. So they're just part of the population in the streets. But what's happening now is I understand that there will be a beef up of security. We already have been securing the churches and all the religious sites in Egypt. But now they're planning also to secure the convoys of Christians who are going to churches, and also the mosques, because the terrorists have attacked mosques before. So there is a beef up of security in convoys that go to the buses that go to monasteries and churches during the weekend celebrations, and obviously more security in the streets. They have been more secured in the last few days since the attack. But you can't really divide the population into Christians or non-Christians, and you can protect those. They're just people in the streets, and you need to secure the whole country to be able to secure the Christians as well.
Well, yes, let's turn our attention briefly to the clashes in Tripoli and the funerals for the victims there. What's the latest on the tensions in the Libyan capital?
Well, the number of victims that have been killed in the last 48 hours has risen to 52, and that's according to the Libyan authorities. Today, the situation is much calmer than the last 48 hours. The clashes have calmed down on Sunday, but there is tension. The airport has been regained by the forces loyal to the national government, as well as the main government building and the presidential palace. They were taken over by the militias. And you have to understand that the problem with the national unity government is that its armed forces is different than the Libyan national government. The LNA, led by Khalifa Haftar, is actually the army soldiers and the tribes in this area. But the national government or the presidential council's forces are actually a group of militias that have been taken together to form the force loyal to the presidential council. And what has happened in the last couple of days is that these militias have been infighting now. Each one wants to take a part of the country or part of the city, and they feel that they have their own agendas, and they have sort of moved out of the coalition of militias that are serving the presidential council. And that is why there has been the infighting in the capital. At this point, it has calmed down, and the presidential council is trying to bring some kind of peace between those militias so that he can control them back and try to protect the city.
Right, Yasser Hakim for us there in Cairo. Thank you.